Hey, Derek from ForeGolf Custom here. Today I'm talking about fairway woods. I've got 3 different heads. This is the TaylorMade Qi10 range of fairway woods. These have been a really strong club for us here in fittings. Stay tuned if you want to know which of the heads you think might best suit you. I've got a little bit of stuff about shafts and the adjustability on this tour head. You're probably going to want to stay tuned for that. You don't want to get it wrong. It's a disaster. Right, let's start off. There's 3 heads in this range. The Qi10, we call it the core or the normal head. We've got Qi10 Max and we've got Qi10 Tour. Okay, so where am I using the 3 different heads? Well, the normal head comes out, I guess, in the middle, if that's the way you want to describe it. It has a mid-flight. It comes in a few different lofts as well. There's a 3HL, which I'll talk about in a minute. There's a 5, there's a 7, and there's a 9 in the normal head. Where am I using this? Well, it's got this V-steel technology in it, so it goes back a couple of iterations to this V-steel sole. It's a slightly smaller club head, so that's where that mid-flight is coming from. It's not like a high-flighted or a very low-flighted product. Because the footprint is smaller, the ball flight tends to be more mid-flight. So I'm using this for kind of mid-handicappers, golfers that I'm trying to control the ball flight and the spin from. I maybe don't want to get it too high in the air. I'm all the time working off my landing angle on these as well and working the lofts then to suit the different iterations. I tell you what's working really well for me in this head is I'm using the 3HL and the 7 wood. Those 2 heads particularly, they're coming up with some really good gapping in terms of that longer end of the bag. So I'm finding 3HL, which is a slightly higher launching 3 wood. It's a little bit more loft than a 3 wood. Helps to get the ball to fly a little bit off the tighter lies. And then I'm tying that in with actually a 7 wood rather than the 5 because of the lower pitch angles. Again, I'm working off my landing angle of the ball coming into the green. So I'm getting that in and around that sort of mid 40s, 44, 45, that kind of area, just so that I can get that ball to hold on the green. Comes in left hand and right hand, so it's a super product here for me to use when I'm fitting. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. This is custom fitting information rather than just raw details about the clubs. It's kind of how I'm using the clubs to fit the different golfers, and it'll help you make a better decision. Okay, Qi10 Max. This is a bigger footprint, right? So what I'm finding with this head is I'm using this if I've got golfers that are really struggling to get the ball in the air. It comes in a 3, 5, and 7. I'm using a lot of the 5s and 7s in this range because it's usually brought in if a golfer is struggling to flight the ball. In terms of shaft, I'm keeping it quite light in this. There's a whole host of shafts available from TaylorMade for this product. It gets a bit kind of mad and sort of mixed up. I'm using a lot of the HL. KBS brought out a brand new HL, a high launch shaft in a very light weight. It's working very well, so keep the weight light in the shaft, keep the kick point low. This is a get the ball in the air kind of club. Be careful if you're buying these hybrids or buying these fairway woods and you're putting hybrids or you have hybrids, you need to check your spacing and distance here. The last thing you want to do is start putting fairway woods in that are starting to group up on top of your hybrids. You get the lofts and the hybrids wrong and you get them all looping up on top of each other and you're going to end up having clubs that are going the same distance. These go higher in flight. The Max is a higher flighted club, so be careful. You just make sure you get your lofts tied in. The 3 wood is very easy to get in the air. So if you're looking for a good 3 wood and you're struggling to get the ball to fly from a 3 wood, check out the Qi10 Max. Really good. That's my top tip. Okay, Qi10 Tour. So this is the better player club. All right, I'm using this a lot. It comes in 3 and 5 wood, available left and right handed. It has a sliding weight inside the club head, so this weight actually moves up and down. I'm using this a lot to customize my spin ratio, and I'm also using it to get the ball pitch angle just right based on the loft. This is a lower handicapper product or high speed kind of retention kind of club because I can control the pitch angle. I can keep the sliding weight there customized to suit my type of ball flight and then tie it in with the right type of shaft. I'm using a lot of 70s S's, 70X's. I got some whiteboards in from Diamana. It's working brilliantly in the 73 gram, in the S and X in that because it's controlling the spin, keeping the ball flight under control for those hard ball strikers. The hossel's adjustable as well, but again, like in the previous videos, be careful. It says higher, lower, upright. it's not necessarily higher in loft and lower in loft. It's more about opening and closing the face. So it's more of a face angle thing. I'm using lower if I'm trying to open the club face. If I get a guy or a golfer, a girl golfer who turns it over and I'm trying to control that, I can go to lower, I can open the face. Also, I can go to higher if I'm trying to close it off a little. And the upright is actually a setting I'm using a little bit because it just draws the head a little bit if I'm trying to get the ball to move in right to left for the golfer. So there are my 3 heads. They're my 3, I guess, top fairway woods for fitting here in ForeGolf. I'm using them a lot. The Max is getting a lot of use, a lot of success from that. I'm getting a lot of feedback from my golfers saying how easy it is to strike, get the ball in the air, and get the ball to land softly on the greens. Go V-steel if you want the ball flight a little bit more medium, with a little smaller footprint, maybe go more up into the lofts like I said. And Qi10 Tour, if you're that stronger golfer, looking to control the spin, customize that weight, open or close the face, get that right shaft in there, and you'll find that these are the best fairway woods around. If you've got any comments, if you're using these fairway woods and you're finding anything that I haven't covered here or something that maybe will help other golfers, why don't you stick it in the comments below. And thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next video.